What Dokkan Fest exclusives can we expect to see in the coming months? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, I wanted to take a little time to talk to you about some of the units we can expect to see release within the next couple of months. Of course, now we are in a time of uncertainty. We are fully synced on both global and JP, and we have no idea what's coming next. But we can use some clues and some upcoming EZAs to help clear the fog for us and figure out what we can expect. Of course, there's no guarantees here. This is just my best guesses based on upcoming super EZAs that we know we need, as well as upcoming regular EZAs we need, as well as the future of DAIMA content in Dokkan battle. So let's go ahead and let's start talking about who we can expect. So shout out to Masaka on Twitter for this little handy graphic that we always like to reference when we start talking about EZAs. So as we can see, we are currently all over the place in terms of EZAs. We've still got about 5 EZAs left. On the 2020 side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the 2021 side, and we have just started scratching away at 2022, right? So I can't imagine we would go beyond this for EZAs. I would safely assume pretty much anybody from this is fair game. Although I would assume that we might pick from here first, and that's kind of how I base this list, but that's not to say that they can't jump over here. After all, they already proved they would do that with Path to Power Kid Goku. But the first Dokkan Fest on the list that I have, I mean, it seems like an obvious suggestion, but I think the next upcoming unit for April could be a Dokkan Fest card. He is a most wanted card for everyone here, and I kind of believe that is the case given that there are these two units who are due up for an EZA. This could work out really well in because this specific celebration could also have a part 2 LR, right? So they could give us the EZA for the Kid Gohan, the EZA for the Goku and Piccolo, and the part 2 LR for this celebration could actually utilize the tag mechanic and be a tag Goku and Piccolo from the Dead Zone movie, which would actually be perfect because these guys need a good link partner. That was always their main issue. So giving us through that through a part 2 LR in the celebration would be the most perfect thing ever. Moving on, the next celebration, so if you guys want to kind of like take a look at my list here, Golden Week, I think that's a perfect opportunity to introduce the next set of Dragon Ball Daima content. It's wide open for a Super versus Extreme release. I could see them doing the TUR Mini Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Goma here for Golden Week, with the part 2 LR being yeah, that one's a little bit hard, but I mean, I could see them doing something like a part 2 LR, like Supreme Kai or something. That could be really interesting depending on how they handle it. Or it could be Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and maybe I don't know, like a Piccolo doesn't have any representation, right? It could be Piccolo, although he didn't really do much, and then Goma could be the part 2 LR. However it works, I do think Golden Week is the perfect opportunity to introduce this, and the reason I think this is the opportunity to do it is because of this guy right here. Everybody assumed that in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was going to EZA during the anniversary, but he did not. So there's got to be some type of celebration coming up soon that would relate to him. And because Daima doesn't really relate to anything we currently have, you know, having a Super Saiyan 4 Goku with some giant 8 power mixed in, that's perfect. That would be the perfect place to do this. Moving on to the June celebration. Now this one was a bit hard to place, but one thing I did notice in the list of EZAs here, there is a plethora of Android Cell Saga units due up for an EZA. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Android Cell Saga units due up for an EZA. So I could definitely see a celebration coming up soon to hit up Android Cell Saga. And I do think, like, giving us a Dokkan Fest Trunks, like take top Trunks with the sword. I mean, it could be any Trunks, really. I was thinking, like, maybe they could do, like, BoJack movie Trunks, and then they could tie it, but I don't know if that could really carry a Dokkan Fest. But I was thinking maybe they could do BoJack movie Trunks, and then that could give them an excuse to EZA this guy, the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. That could work too. It also could be a standalone TUR Super Saiyan Gohan too, right? Something like that. But I feel like something like this could work because not only could you tie in the LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, you could also EZA the AGL Trunks or the LR AGL Trunks and Gohan to go along with him. This one would be a really good deal, especially if they decide to go with the Dragon Ball Kakarot route and they use the post-game version of Trunks where he goes Super Saiyan 2. That would actually be great. It would be something original. It would be something, right, outside of a regular Super Saiyan Trunks, which would allow him to link up with other Trunkses and also, build up, some extra categories like Power Beyond Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. So that would actually be really, really good. But I mean, it's just a guess. Moving on to July. Now, July was an interesting choice for me, right, to see based on the EZAs. But I do think we are long overdue for a LR Blue Goku, and I'm saying this one because there's a lot they can do with this. Right now, I would like to see him from Resurrection of F, but I could also see this being a Blue Goku from the Tournament of Power, based on the upcoming, or not the Tournament of Power, the Universe 6 tournament, because based on the upcoming EZAs, there's a lot we do need, right? So, right, there's a lot that can sort of fit this one. That's why I figured like a Blue Goku could sort of tie a lot of things together, right? So if they did, a Blue Goku, they could, they could EZA the ROF Blues. I don't know if they would necessarily EZA the Frieza just yet. He wouldn't really have anywhere to go if they did. So doing these guys would work well. But one option they could do is if he ends up being or if he ends up being from the Universe 6 tournament, they could actually EZA the Goku and hit here, as well as give us in part 2 a, jump into the Tournament of Power and do an LR tag Kalen Caulifla into Kefla. Remember, there was that random Kefla asset that came out of nowhere that still has not been used, right? It's similar to the STR one, but it very much had the LR shading, which makes us think that that they're holding on to a Kefla in the background somewhere. So would be the perfect opportunity to EZA these two, EZA these guys in part 1, and then maybe these guys too. I mean, Tanabata usually gets quite a few EZAs, right? So they could totally hit these guys and these guys together, and then in part 2 hit up the Tech Kale and Caulifla, while also introducing a new a new Kefla in part 2, or even a new LR hit, who knows? But I do think a Blue Goku for July is, I think cards are on the table there. I know a lot of people are thinking DAIMA Super Saiyan 4, but as you guys can kind of see here, I have my own thoughts about that for worldwide, and I'll get to that in a second. Now, August was an interesting one, because the thing about August is, not in all cases, but in some cases, it usually ties into the Peppy Gals banner. So I tried to look here and see what could tie in. These guys could have done it, but I feel like anytime Dokkan does a Kale and Caulifla, they're almost always more associated with a TOP or Universal Survival Saga celebration than they are necessarily the Peppy Gals, even though they are on Peppy Gals. So for that one, I actually think what could work, right, is a Android 17 and 18, right, from the Future Saga, but it starts as an 18 and it's a tag unit, right, a tag 17 and 18. The androids, honestly, I think they are like they are the tag unit, right? Like, just think about that, like swapping back and forth between 17 and 18 every turn to get done what needs to get done, right? One could be more offense oriented, or one can be more like tech oriented, or something. Like, there's a lot of cool play they could do there, right, with the 17 and 18. And then this would also give them the opportunity to maybe EZA either the tech androids or the 17, the future Gohan and Trunks. I think that this could be a likely scenario for August, and especially because if it starts as an 18, that would tie into the Peppy Gals banner a little bit. So, they could lead something like Worldwide Chaos, and, she could randomly have Peppy Gals in there because she's an 18. Who knows? But I do think it could work out quite well if they do something like that. And then leading into Worldwide, as you can see here, I've kind of stacked the deck here for Worldwide Celebration. What I think we could do is, like, the theme of Worldwide could be Giant Ape Power, or more specifically, the introduction of Giant Ape Power, right? So in part 1, right, because there's always sort of this super versus extreme vibe, part 1 could be Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus the baby Vegeta. I could also see them doing a tag Goku and Vegeta versus Omega, right? But I do think some type of GT thing could go here, is because, again, on the docket, we do have some GT units that still need some love here, right? We have the 17, we have Tech Pan, and there's still a host of sub EZAs that haven't been touched from GT that need some love. And then, again, Great Ape Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then the LR Year 7s, we could still really use that GT. We're just shy of a full good GT team, so having Worldwide be some type of GT, again, I'm thinking we're long overdue for Grade 8 for a new baby. So I could definitely see like a tag Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, and then a baby in part 1, and then part 2 is when we would finally get the adult versions of the DAIMA celebration, right? So we could get, again, if the running theme here is kind of a Super Saiyan 4 vibe, they could go 2 Superclass LRs in part 2, like they have been doing a few times here in Worldwide. We could do Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta as the part 2 LRs. It's just a hunch. It's not perfect. Again, this is just a theory. This is just something that I kind of came up with based on the EZAs. The thing about this is we know DAIMA is coming, but the reality is it's hard to pair DAIMA with any current EZAs, right? The mini Vegeta was paired with the GT Goku and Vegeta. No relation at all, other than Goku is little. I guess that would be the only relation. The DAIMA Goku and Glorio were paired with Fizz Super Saiyan. Were paired with Fizz Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Kid Buu, right? So I mean, it's really hard to pin them into any of these, but the rest of them do kind of lean into other specific categories. And again, this is just kind of my guess. This could all change next in a few days when they reveal TN from the 22nd World Tournament as the next DFE for April. But I mean, April tends to be, I don't want to say a throwaway, but it tends to be those characters that are probably only ever going to get one Dokkan Fest ever. So that's kind of why I think like Garlic Jr. fits that slot. Plus there's 2 characters from his movie that are due up for an EZA. But Guys, that is it for our video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, what do you think of our idea here? This is what I think we could be seeing in the lead up to Worldwide. Of course, you know, we could have gone on all the way to the end of the year, but I figure, you know, just the next couple of months, get a good frame of mind of what's to come. Even if I'm wrong here, which I probably am, right? Whatever we're getting will be tied into these EZAs. So somehow there will be Android Cell Saga during this. Somehow there will be Tournament of Power. Somehow we will tie in the Dead Zone movie. Somehow we will tie in all of these characters here in order to EZA them. So the question is how and when. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.